Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more relationship stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. Well, let's crack on with today's first story. Now today's first story is titled My 20 Female Boyfriend of 2 years, 20 Male, is going to an amusement park with his female best friend, 19 Female, and says I can't come because they want to be alone together. Throwaway for obvious reasons, but mainly because we follow each other on Reddit. So my boyfriend and I have been together for 2 years, but the past year has been really rocky. One night he went out with some friends, and after that our entire relationship changed. We went from going out together all the time and doing fun activities to me being at home waiting for him to get back till 2, 3 AM even. Recently, his female best friend, who is also my close friend, invited him to an amusement park they both worked at. She had 2 tickets to their Halloween event. Spoiler, she didn't, and we'll explain later in the post. I told him I didn't mind, but I'd like to come along for obvious reasons, and that I would pay for my own ticket. Then the excuses started. It's employees only. I looked it up. It isn't. The day already passed, and I could have bought a ticket for that day on the spot. Plus, he left that park ages ago and wouldn't qualify. She doesn't want you there. Bullshit. She's been pushing for the 3 of us to hang out. Then he said I got on his nerves in big groups. Every time we're in a big group, he acts like I'm not there. Then he said he wanted to be alone with her and they wanted to be alone together. I immediately got sketched out. On his birthday, we got into a fight. He kept talking about the trip and I snapped. I told him I was sick of him putting me on the back burner and I was sick of being alone at the house till the middle of the night and that I wanted to go. He said the 2 of us can go another time, which I doubt will ever happen with my work schedule, and the event ends on Halloween. Last night I did something I never do and looked through his messages with her. He had talked mad shit about me, saying he's sick of me because I rely on him for everything. I can't drive because I was in an accident and the process to get my license has been difficult. Saying how he couldn't wait to hug her and never let go. He never hugs me in public. He used to though. And then told her about the fight. He'd panned me out to be the bad guy and didn't tell my side. He told me he called her and told her, which I don't believe. She said that he wasn't allowed to invite me because she had 2 free tickets, but they were talking about buying their tickets. She made him tell me a lie, and I found out in the messages. I told him I went through his messages and that I was really sorry, but he wasn't upset and said that he hopes my fears are gone, and that she's his sister. He also said I would go out with my male friends sometimes and that he trusts me. In the past, every time they've hung out, I haven't been allowed to join. He dressed up, cleaned his car and took her out to dinner and to a lookout spot he hadn't even taken me to yet. He took me months later. When I'm out with male friends, they always ask about him and where he is, even begging me to invite him so we could all hang out, which I do every time. I'm not sure what to do in this situation. I don't know if I can trust him. I've lost sleep and gotten into fights with him. Every time I try to ask about the trip, he threatens to break up with me. How do I move forward? This guy has no respect for you. He has no respect for your relationship. And it just, the red flag's already pointing to that's actively cheating. They're pretty much going on dates, going out to lookout spots, taking her to places that you guys haven't been before, and then telling you that you get on his nerves in big groups, and then acts like you are not there. He's lying to you, they're lying to you, he's talking shit behind your back. You deserve so much better than that. But I Love Sexy Fun says, I'm sorry, it is okay to feel hurt. It appears like he checked out of your relationship and is pursuing his best friend. You deserve better. Here is a secret that will change your life. Place little trust in what people say, but be confident in what their actions reveal. His actions here speak loudly and clearly. Don't get confused by words. Squirrel Railroad says, meh, life is too short for this kind of bullshit. His excuses are lies and thinly veiled at that. Do yourself a favor and leave a sorry ass. Also, she's not your friend and neither is he. This could be massive says, the relationship is over. Sorry, there's no coming back from this. He's cheating. Don't sleep with him. This would be the worst time to get pregnant and you don't know what diseases he might have. If you can't afford to live where you are on just your own income, start looking for a place you can afford. Let your apartment manager know that you want off the lease, then skedaddle. And one more comment from Clean Cardiologist 160 who says, this relationship has been over for quite some time. You seem to be the only one still in it. If you don't live together, cut your losses and all contact. If you don't live together and you have things at his place, quietly move it out a bit at a time. Bring his stuff back and just be done with him. The girl that you called a close friend, she is not your friend. She is telling him to lie to you, though he probably would have done it anyway. On the night they go out to the park, you should go with your friends. Neither of them own the park or you, and you can go where you want. If you run into each other and he asks what you are doing, tell him you are out with real friends that actually give a damn about you, and for them to enjoy their life together as you are no longer a part of it. If you have a key to his place, toss it on the ground in front of them. Already have your locks changed, and if he has a key, tell him to keep it since it no longer works. So OP does come in with an update and says, I bet you guys won't expect this plot twist. I messaged the friend, told her the truth about the argument, what really happened, etc. I told her it's crossing a boundary of mine. She immediately defended crossing my boundary, saying she had no malintention and that she had a boyfriend. This sparked a red flag. An old friend of me invited me to the park for the same day. I turned him down. He offered me a free ticket to join my boyfriend. I turned that down too, since I thought my boyfriend didn't want me around. If I went with a friend, it would be stupid because I'd cross my own boundary and we'd have a wide age gap. So I went to see a movie with my co-worker instead. It was really fun. My boyfriend called me after the movie. Her boyfriend showed up to surprise them and she was livid. I was upset too, because if I knew that, I would have taken the free ticket to hang out with the three of them. I don't really like her boyfriend because he's kinda creepy, but I would have toughed it out in order to have fun. My boyfriend confirmed with me that he had no ulterior motives and that honestly, it was mid and he didn't have a good time. He wanted to be alone to catch up with his friend and genuinely had no motive. He also said I can be embarrassing sometimes. Examples he brought up were me talking over people without realizing. I'm autistic and I can't detect social cues that well, and he's the only person that knows of my diagnosis outside of my family. I explained that's the reason why I sometimes talk over people or say weird things. He immediately took it back. We talked about our relationship and I admitted I feel undervalued and underappreciated, and we're going to work on it. He apologized for what he said about me and is going to be there for me more. He reminded me as happy as he is in a relationship, he doesn't like doing the cliche romance stuff and never has, but is willing to get out of his comfort zone for me. I'm taking this with a grain of salt, but I'm relieved he's aware of how hurtful it was that I was excluded and how badly I was thrown out. Here's the plot twist. She was the one that didn't want me there at all. She was pissed when her boyfriend showed up. I talked with another friend and he and I believe she was the one who wanted to get with my boyfriend, not vice versa. I made her aware of my boundary and she crossed it. If she was a true friend, she would have apologized for crossing a boundary and invited me or changed the plans. She's invited me to things in the past. She caused my boyfriend and I to almost break up over this. I got so mad at my boyfriend, almost lost my relationship, just to find out it was never his fault. I'm planning on cutting her off. We don't really talk often, so I'm just going to silently remove her from my accounts. She's always wanted to be alone with my boyfriend and I thought he was being disloyal. I couldn't have been more wrong. I know he won't agree with me because he has a solid 2 brain cells and doesn't notice when people are into him, so I'm not going to tell him my theory. But I do strongly believe she likes him. He sees her as a younger sister. I don't think she views him as a brother. The friend I spoke to about it had a thing with her and he spilled. He invited her out to a fair and she rejected him because she didn't want to do something perceived as a date, which today she proceeded to do with my boyfriend, which he didn't see as such, until hers showed up. If he didn't come, I don't know what she would have done to my boyfriend. I know he wouldn't give in though. So yeah, TLDR, they weren't cheating, but she's the issue and has been the whole time and not him. I'm livid, mainly at myself for not trusting my boyfriend when he has nothing but loyal to me, even when we fight. Now, I've got to say for myself that was frustrating to read, especially OP saying at the end he's been nothing but loyal to me, yet he was talking shit about you on the phone and you saw this with your own eyes. He's taken her to secluded places because he wants to be alone. OP, if by some chance you do ever hear this, I want you to really consider and reread what you've posted here. Obviously, I don't know the full ins and outs of what's going on, but in the very first post, before even the update, before anything like that. There was so many red flags to how this person, to how they were treating you, lying, talking shit about you, which you saw, telling her how he couldn't wait to hug her and never let go. Yet he never hugs you. Dude tells you that you get on his nerves in public, in front of groups and stuff. Where's the future in this relationship just from that point of view, without all the other bullshit as well? That's just so disrespectful. But now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let's move on to another story. And for our next story, which does have an update as well, it's a bit of office-based drama from Path Majestic from the Am I Wrong subreddit that says, plan the office Halloween event and now I feel like absolute garbage. I was recently hired in an assistant role at a law firm fresh out of college. In comparison to other people in the office, excluding the other assistants, I'm pretty young, 22 female. One of the partners put me in charge of the office Halloween party, so I've been planning everything for about 2 weeks. What I came up with was wearing costumes into the office and an end of day party in the decorated spooky conference room where people in the office paint pumpkins as treats, select mystery coffee pods, different flavors as tricks, and just eat sweet food together while streaming the Charlie Brown special. I got into the office early this morning to decorate the office, and the partner in question got annoyed when she came in and saw what I was doing. Even though I got approval from her, she was disappointed that this is what I went with, described it as incredibly juvenile, and said that I should have gone with something like costumes and going to an office happy hour. She's now confirming with the other assistant in charge of the holiday Christmas party that it is an adult affair, expensive dinner outing, and it seems like I stressed everyone out and I just feel really embarrassed right now. These office morale activities are important, and now I feel like I'm so deeply in the wrong and screwed everything up. A commenter says to OP, they said, "This is why I'm glad I didn't end up working in law, lol." Yeah, you probably should have been more direct with exactly what you were planning. Attorneys aren't going to be painting pumpkins during the workday at the office because the psychopath partner they work for would see it as juvenile's waste of time. Sucks, but take it as a learning experience. I don't think it's going to kill your career or anything, unless you're really working for a psychopath. Which, to be fair, is more common in the legal profession than most. Opie says, I'm just confused because I explained exactly what I was doing, because I needed to provide a budget breakdown, and got approval, plus the assistants last year did a pumpkin painting event, so I just feel really blindsided. I really hate it when people do this sort of shit, you know, that they approve stuff like that. You came up with all this plan, you showed them the budget, they approved it, you're getting all the flack for it, them not being happy with it. I've seen this one too many times. I remember once, because of the position we're in, like, people just seem to give us like the shit job sometimes. Yeah, no, and I was a fool for accepting those, but like my boss with me, he was a grumpy so-and-so, not with us anymore, bless him. And for it was a Halloween party actually, and they rented out a hall and they had drinks there and all this sort of stuff. They hired caterers, but they wanted to do like a Halloween piñata thing. So they had this giant pumpkin they were going to fill with various stuff, but they didn't have anywhere to hang it. So they said, could you like come up with like a freestanding wooden frame to hang this piñata from? And you know, my boss was a bit of a woodworky type of guy, so he came up with this thing, and it was really good. It was like really stable and strong, and I could swing off it by the time he finished it. And I could see boss was incredibly proud of this thing. He went out and got the wood for it, and he took some time on this thing basically. And then, you know, he called his boss. He came down and showed it him. He said, "Oh, no, that's not what I was expecting." And the look on my boss's face, like I said, he was a grumpy so-and-so, didn't take any shit. He literally just smashed it to bits and said, "Wow, make it your fucking self." And I was on the other side of the room behind this cage thing that I could kind of see through. I was like, oh, fucking hell, it's getting tasty in here. Yeah, but for me, absolutely, you're not wrong. They should be upfront about what they want if they got something in their mind, and if they're going to approve it as well, you know. Zane says, assuming you went to college for law and not event planning, this is actually brilliant. It's your get out of jail free card from similar tasks in the future. I try to avoid working with this particular partner as much as possible. She sucks at mentoring and communicating. Gracely says, I work in a similar field as you, without giving so much away. I don't feel too bad about it. I didn't know too much about lawyers myself before coming into this business. However, coming in, I now know that they're kind of squares. Even as far as Halloween. Evidently, a few years back we used to do more fun things in the office, and now it's mostly phased out. From Halloween parties to even wearing a costume. I'm actually the only one here today wearing anything Halloween related. I'm also the youngest in my office by a lot. Hang in there if this is what you want to do. At least you get to plan stuff. Hoping I get that responsibility soon. Moose Potato says she approved it, she knew what you were going to do, but she somehow wanted something different. Fuck her noise. You did exactly what my office does for Halloween, and we're one of those international big names that I won't talk about because I actually fucking hate working there. Suck it, lawyers. Painting pumpkins is something that our team looks forward to all month. We get wicked competitive about it. Bark Up says, first, don't be too hard on yourself. You were given zero hints or direction. Just learn from this. I'm an older attorney and was a name partner at a law firm for many years, until I got tired of the grind. Lawyers mostly view themselves as sophisticated elites. I'm not one of those. While the rest of my partners would have loved a ritzy happy hour, I would have preferred going on a hike with all my office mates. But the partners like to keep up their image as elites. So a spooky type happy hour at the end of the day with special Halloween type cocktails, a pretty boozy punch, hors d'oeuvres that look like eyes or severed fingers but tastefully so. Kind of glam spooky. Good luck and keep at it, young lady. This is not a career-ending event. OK Neat says, no reason she should embarrass you like that. I'll definitely start applying somewhere else quickly. She seems to feel as if she were paying you out of her pockets to do as she's expecting. She seems very self-centered, egotistical and entitled. To feel as if you didn't read her mind, to do everything she was expecting without telling you is one thing, but to make you feel so low about yourself by telling others in the office and laughing about your hard work and dedication is another. She's a bully and upset that she's not as creative as you are and have a vision for great get-togethers. So OP does come back in to update the post and said, hey everyone, thanks for all the encouragement and constructive criticism. To give a bit of context before the full update. One, when I was tasked with planning the event, I did reach out to the girl who had this job before me. She's now in law school, and she said that they did a pumpkin carving last year, so I pivoted to painting to change it up a bit and decrease on mess. I also added the mystery coffee pod and decorating the office as a fun little thing. 2. I did get the partner's approval before planning the whole event because I had to budget everything out with a proposal. So she knew about it, but she likely A, forgot about the thing until she saw me decorating, or B, didn't think I was serious. She was also upset because our sister office went out for drinks the day before, and she wanted to impress our new partner, who was sick and couldn't even attend. 3 for everyone who said that Charlie Brown was juvenile. I agree, but I was going to play the movie back for half of the event. It was an hour, because it was mentioned to me that another partner was bringing their daughter, 5 female, who was visiting internationally. But my boss thought that I would have planned a happy hour afterwards or something. I didn't do so. Anyways, I went through with the party and it all went really well. I ended up not buying any alcohol and just went through with the pumpkin painting over some Halloween music, candy and fresh baked cookies and some warm apple cider. The people who partook in the mystery coffee pods liked their flavors for the most part. Haha, the trick. As for the event, not everyone in the office showed up, including my boss, but about 75% did. About 3 others were in costume and they all had a decent time. 5 female also had a good time decorating cookies and watching Charlie Brown while waiting for her dad. All in all, I think I'll leave the adult party planning to my slightly older co-worker. She's the social butterfly of the office, but I'm just glad that today wasn't a disaster. And there was a mix of comments below that one. Some people saying, they wouldn't have found that party interesting at all and, in a high pressure environment like lawyers and stuff like that, I guess. Painting pumpkins and stuff like that wouldn't particularly excite them for whatever reason. Other people saying, it sounds like a great little fun event. It sounds good. Other people talking about it being a dry event, etc. But what do you guys make of this situation? How would you feel if that party was offered to you? What would you do if you was planning the party? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories, your love, your support, your time. always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for being involved, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Take care and much love.